Good day, my friends. Good day. Happy post-Thanksgiving, postprandial. I hope you enjoyed your day, whatever that means. You normally want to say, I hope it goes without incident. It's a very strange day in many respects. I mean, it really is. It's sort of, it's weird. It's a weird thing because so much pressure is on for you to be profound, Isn't this great? We're all together. Yes, it is. Let me say something. Prayers are sometimes difficult because usually the person worst equipped to say something gives the kind of benediction for the whole thing, and it puts a lot of pressure on. Isn't this wonderful? We're all together. Yeah, it's true. It's true. But I want to just say something right now. As I know you're not going to be doing this, but you should, and take it from me. And I've been doing this a long time in my life, and I know what I'm talking about. You should have a postprandial, post-meal, post-Thanksgiving review of what happened. What went right, what went wrong, as I eructate. What went wrong? Let me tell you what I notice. And I'm very good at this. But nobody's asking me my opinion. First, nobody plans things. My mother used to have a list. She had a list. This goes in first, this comes out last, boom, 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 boom. Because when everybody's sitting around and talking and drinking and yucking it up, it misses something completely. So you have to, first of all, have a list. What goes in first? What takes the longest? Things that can be kept warm, sides, stuff like that. Be very careful. Mashed potatoes can turn like that into spackle. I'm telling you, I've seen it. Don't want to say anything. And it's a very weird thing. How are you preparing these? Were these made before? How are you hydrating these? If you leave them and they're whipped beautifully and you leave them on the stove, they turn to rock. They turn to rock. It's nothing personal. Whatever you did before, it doesn't matter. They're rock. When you scoop this, when you put a serving spoon and this thing comes out in a brick of this gelatinized caulking agent, what are you doing? Did you think about that? The physics of this, the chemistry? Do you understand this? Do you understand how this thing works? The physics of this. How does this work? What is going out first? Do you have a soup or something? Yes. Is that ready to go? Yes. That's the best. You can put that over there. Have you ever thought about alternative? Right now, one of the best investments you can make if you're ever doing this is one of these induction burners. They can be kind of expensive, but boy, are they great. You don't even have to do any kind of you can do so much stuff on it. Have you thought about that? Or these one pot things are terrific too. Do you ever think about that? Does anybody think about this? No, they don't think about it. Here's one for you. If you're insisting on turkey, if you're insisting on it, if you think this is the way to do it, for the love of God, think this one through. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm not going to spend the whole time, but I got to just tell you something. Let me give you this one word. Stay away from the term called warming up. Warming up is the death knell, the death sentence of certain foods. Turkeys. If you put turkey into an oven to warm up, you're desiccating it. That's all I'm going to tell you. There are so many little tricks. A moist towel. Microwaving is fantastic. You know what you got to do too? You got to take it out every now and then and look at it. Touch it. Feel it. That's good. This is terrific. Maybe ladle something on top. Keep it moist. Microwave. Microwave is fantastic to warm up, not to cook. Anyway, I'm not going to waste. It just never ceases to amaze me. People don't think through things. They have all this stuff out. They say, okay, let's start. Let's say, here. I'll start here. Why? Because it's nearest me. No! Put that over there. Get people out of the state. I heard all these stories. I asked friends, I said, what was the biggest mistake? Well, because nobody thinks through this. Because the ability to think through is something that you as a human being should know. The ability to say, let me see what's going to happen now. If I leave now, I'm going to catch the traffic here. So I'm not going to leave now. It's called thinking ahead. It's Sunday. Now's the best time to, let's don't go there. Let's don't put this one next to this guy. Just think through, see it, but see things ahead of time. What can I do ahead of time? What preparation can I be done? Where is my list? Think what needs to be done. I'm a consummate list maker because you forget in the heat of things. Priority. That's enough I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. It's just one of those things I just don't understand so much. I don't understand things. I don't understand. And today I was looking at the New York Times, just going on. What are they talking about? Inflation and Black Friday. I despise all of this discussion about Black Friday. Let's start buying. Start buying? Is that it? Is that it? It's this commercialism, this forced subject matter. Well, we always talk about Black Friday after Thanksgiving. I'm deadly serious. I'm surprised it has not been objected to because it just doesn't sound good. And then I get to see the various news stories about people who are, and by the way, let me tell you something. I went into a great story on my private channel that I can't talk about stuff here. I can't talk about things here. There's two stories. One, this was so interesting. There's a new book that is floating about over Lee Harvey Oswald, and it is a theory of why, an hypothesis of why he committed this lone gunman assassination of John Kennedy. And I went into a brutal dissection of this. There's another story in the New York Times about how they're going to use Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to prevent Trump from running again by virtue of the insurrectionist prohibition. I am detailing that in brutal detail because that doesn't seem to lose any steam from people not paying attention. Because this is the thing which I'm finding so interesting, not paying attention. Whenever I sometimes go to something on a Thanksgiving, people will come in and I'll introduce myself to new people and I realize, my God, nobody knows anything. And it reaffirms you are a freak because you know more. Seriously, give yourself a round of applause because there are very few things, if anything, that I can't tell you where you'll say, I never heard that before. You heard it. You know too much. And sometimes that's your downfall. You know too much. You're unable to process this. And I have to tell you, whoa, calm down. So keep that in mind. So we're going to be talking about that. And also this sense of why is civilization, as we know, being stripped apart by virtue of all these variety of things. But let me just say a couple of things. First and foremost, number one, today is a huge day. Yesterday, there were more people walking around. New York is open for business. And yesterday it was so good to see families and people out and about going through this incredible celebration that is called the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade up and down Central Park West. Nobody can stop this. There is a feel, there is an energy, there is something, and nobody can ever get rid of that. And it was so good to see that. So that's there. And on January the 14th at the Cutting Room, I'm going to be there, and I want to see you. And think of it, got new songs. But what we do is we're going to pass around a mic, maybe note cards, and this is going to be, for the first time I know of, a completely immersive, interactive performance that it's never done. Because normally you, the audience, are pushed away. It's like, please, excuse me, don't heckle. Heckle. They don't want you to invite, because they're in a routine. They have this routine. George Carlin talked about, and that's wonderful, and I don't mean anything wrong with it. Broadway is you shouldn't interrupt that. This is different. So tickets are available there, January 14th. Please do that. Also, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to this channel for reasons I will never understand. Remember this. This is important. For years now, this whatever channel has been demonized, but not demoralized. And I don't understand how this works. And I've never even heard anything even remotely explanatory as to why. So, your help, your addition, your algorithm, your heft, your push to get us back in the offing means so very much, and we thank you for that. Okay? Good. And yesterday, as we were looking through all of this, as everybody's packing food up, and people, do you want to take this with us? And by the way, the plant-based stuff that is available is, frankly, fascinating. But as we are all walking away from this, people are full on this, I'm thinking to myself, you would never know, and these people would never know, that the world is probably more dangerous now with every passing day. And now is not the time to bring it up. And I'm wondering, do any of these people, have they made sure that their family is taken care of and prepared for severe food shortages? That's why My Patriot Supply is going their extra mile to make their emergency food as affordable as humanly possible. How do they do that? They're taking off $250 from their 3-month emergency food kit, which is the minimum your family should have. This kit provides delicious, easy-to-make breakfast, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks for one person for 3 solid months. You can get one and should get one for each member of your family, while you're able to save $250 during this timely sale, which ends soon. We are believers. We have our supplies. Believe me, it's the most profoundly intelligent thing you can do. Remember, My Patriot Supply is the nation's largest preparedness company, with millions of families already protected. These 3-month food kits are in stock and ready to go. Your order ships fast and free and arrives in unmarked boxes for your privacy. So go to, write this down, preparewithlionel.com. Lionel, not Lionel. You can pronounce it that, but there's one L at the end. Preparewithlionel.com, preparewithlionel.com. Those who know what's coming are using today to prepare. Are you? That's the issue. Preparewithlionel.com. Now, my friends, I have to remember that for purposes of this, for purposes of our discussion during our morning chats, I have to not ever talk about too much that is too over the top. But there is a brand new book that is out with another theory, another hypothesis as to the Lee Harvey Oswald participatory matrix in the JFK assassination, which I go through in exquisite detail, that I ask you to subscribe, because what I am amazed with, and you must understand, my day is one amazing, I'm amazed. First of all, I told you, nobody prepares for things. Nobody prepares. Nobody has a list that says, okay, I'm in the, even pilots go through checklists, and they've done it a million times. But I was talking to a friend of mine about JFK, and he is, I think he's about 5 years older than me, roughly. So we're talking about this, and it never ceases to amaze me and astound me how people do not know anything about anything. How people do not know, and it's the most fascinating thing in the world, because as a muckraker and as a propagandist in my own right, should I ever want to invite and to involve people in this particular effort, you don't have to tell people a lot. Remember this. You really don't have to tell people a lot. Give them a theme. Give them just a theme. Give them a little bit of a story, and let them accept it. When I was talking to a friend of mine, this friend, about the JFK incident, which I was a mere 5-year-old, it was kindergarten, and what I have learned and studied and remembered since then, it never ceases to amaze me that somebody who is telling me right now that this was one of the most important events in their life knows absolutely nothing about it. It reminds me, you don't have to tell people a lot to give them a theme. Another one. Ukraine and Russia. Absolutely unbelievable what people know and don't know. I'm going to give you an example of something. Maybe. I'm a YouTube, I like to sample it. It's still a wonderful, wonderful means. There's of course Rumble, and I think BitChute's still around, and there are others as well, and they're terrific. But when it comes to a variety of non-political things, it's still the best. How many of you have sat through one of these deconstructions of the TV hit The Sopranos? How many of you have ever sat through one of these events where somebody sits there and says, let me explain to you the last episode. Let me explain to you the last episode. By the way, Holston's, which is still there, right there in Bloomfield, but right there. They talk about Meadow, who backs up the car, and she catches her wheel on the curb. Tony's in there first, plays Don't Stop Believing. Here comes, the wife and the son and whatever. And there's the fellow at the counter who goes to the men's room. And what does this mean? And there's somebody who just takes it upon themselves to create out of nowhere, this intricate interpretive scenario that makes, there's no basis for this at all, no validation whatsoever. You can take this. How do we know this? We don't know this. So this is an example of creating something out of nowhere, because you do not want to think that maybe David Chase had this final scene of the greatest television program. Remember, The Sopranos, I look at it today, and it's just, my God, I see it, I keep thinking this was 30 years, almost 25 years, whatever it was. I mean, I can't believe it. I can't believe how it's over. And how this was the last of appointment TV. Sunday nights. Do you remember that? Sunday nights, people were home. It wasn't the let's tape it and I'll watch it. No. I want to be there now. Okay. So it's impossible for people to think that maybe David Chase put this thing together and it didn't mean anything. Maybe he also realized people's penchant and predisposition towards interpretation. So maybe he said, let's have Meadows' wheel hit the curb 3 times for the Trinity and whatever. Let's have somebody in the back wearing a hat come back and make eye contact with Tony. Why? Because people will read into it. People will create things. Human beings do this. People do it constantly. It is what is the basis of faith. And throughout history, mythology, religion, faith, miracles, whatever you want to call it. It's what we do. It's our predisposition. Understand it. Understand symbology. Understand stagecraft. Understand why people do the things they do. It's fascinating. Just let them go and encourage them. Let them do this. Humans love symbology. Look at yesterday, the whole thing about Thanksgiving. There is still not a straight answer as to where this fictional this meal and all this stuff, and it's a great story. And well, that's not. They didn't really have turkey. They had oysters, and they had, and then you'll get some historian from some local junior college who comes on AM Good Morning Dubuque or whatever, and they'll sit there. I mean, it just never. It's the same trope, the same meme. But look what they do. And that's why, in order to give somebody a story, when you want to give them the news, make sure you understand symbology. And make sure you understand that people will take from it what they want. Never lose track of what we do. Never lose track of why we do things. Never, ever, ever lose track of what it is that we do and why we do it. Don't ever, ever do this. I can't say it enough. I can't put it into words. Everything that's going on right now. Now, when it comes to history, when it comes to facts, good luck with that one. I don't even know where to begin it. And I want to go back as to something about history. Whether it's JFK, whether it's Vietnam, whatever, and the Sopranos. David Chase is never going to say to you, this doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. We ended it like this because we had no idea, and we knew you would just make things up. You would read into things because you can't believe a story like this could end this poorly. You also cannot believe that history could actually be won by the bad guys, or that we don't know who the good guys are, or how some important and extremely catastrophic events can actually come down to meaning nothing. So you will create certain things. You will read into things, sometimes a lot, sometimes not at all. It's incredible what you will do. And I am a student of this. And I watch this. And I pay attention to this. And I learn from this. And I understand that the bulk of what we do is human behavior, not about facts, not about getting things right or wrong, whatever. It doesn't work like that. Name the issue. Name it. You want to talk about UFOs? Talk about that. You want to talk about Ukraine? Talk about that. You want to talk about, how about Trump? How about running for run number 3 and using Section 3 of the 14th Amendment? Let's see if we can do this. Do you know how people are going to react to that? I do. Let me also tell you something which I find to be the most fascinating of them all. There is a proliferation of new LCN. Have you watched this? I have studied this across the board. Mafia, even though they don't refer to it, but American organized crime, La Cosa Nostra, platforms, various platforms. Absolutely fascinating. Sammy the Bull was one of the ones. Michael Franzese, his is the slickest, the most well produced. Vlad, the Impaler, whatever, he has them on. John Aline and Gene Borello has it, and then Gene's has some problem, and then we have other people who are a counter kind of insurgent types who are the infighting, who are trying to pick each other off. This guy's a bum. He's a punk. You weren't made. You're not a gangster. You weren't even straightened out. You never got your button. You never got your badge. You never did anything. You're a rat. No, you're a rat. It's the most fantastic thing I've ever seen in my life. You must follow this. But here's what you listen to. Listen to what I'm saying. Step back for a moment. And do you know what you have to what you must understand if you involve yourself in this is the appreciation of the conspiracy that is brought via prosecution, the conspiracy that goes on between the internecine battles of people, this treachery of those involved in the life, this family versus this family, the double cross, these people who are so fluid, so facile, so adept at appreciating that which is conspiracies. If you were to then turn now, let's talk about history, JFK, or whatever, they can't do it. They know how to do it, but they're selective. We pick the level of intricacy pursuant to the particular area of interest that we like. If we like these people, we'll talk about this. Let's talk about the Sopranos. Let's talk about The Godfather. Why did Sonny not understand? Did Salazzo know? Was it really Barzini? This is not even real. And this is also people who have a penchant, a predisposition, a proclivity for appreciating this labyrinthine conspiracies. Yet, in real life, doesn't exist. Real life is clean. Conspiracies aren't fun. They're dangerous and they're problematic, and we don't want to talk about them. I'm fascinated by this. Fascinated. Remember, this is my hypothetical discussion I'm having with somebody from a different planet. I'm going to say, you got to understand how people work. This is how these people work. This is it. You got to understand something. If you want to understand anything, this channel, that channel, this one, left, right, Fox News versus CNN, whatever it is, you have to get to the core, the base of the personalities, of their mentality, of their behavior, what motivates them, what inspires them. Is it hate? Is it interest? Is it intrigue? What is it? And there's nothing that bothers people more than really tough questions. When you say to somebody, would you like to know exactly what the Bible said about this? No. Would you like me to point out some inconsistencies with the Bible and biblical? No. Would you like me to show you how that? No. No. No, 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 no. Not interested. Please, go someplace else with that. We don't care about that. Would you like me to talk to you about Area 51? No, that's crazy. Would you like me to talk about the mob? Oh, yes. Would you like to hear how Donald Trump actually met with conspirators? Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. You see what happens? It's not that they don't have the ability to appreciate this. This type of intricate, labyrinthine criminality, they want to be true. They appreciate, they embrace. The other ones, they don't. So they selectively turn off that which they don't want to hear, and open their eyes to that which they want to hear. As soon as you understand this, you will get everything. Look at how everybody right now only wants to talk about Balenciaga. Just the storyline. They don't want to go any deeper. Oh, no, not interested. No. Just give me that. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody. We know this. I recognize this. That's why the secret to Trump or Biden or Gavin Newsom or whatever is what I've been telling you the whole time. You listen to me. Number one, you go to people who are not likely to vote. Independent, undecided, confused voters. Believe it or not, there's a bunch of them. Number two, find out what it is that gets their attention. What is it that they want to see? Tell me their frame of reference. Do you want to give them hope or despair? You, by the way, love bad news. Other people love good news. You love to hear. And do you know what happened now? No. Do you know about this? Do you know about the laptop? Do you know about? I didn't know that. Do you know how Biden? You like that. That's who you are. There are other people who say, no. Tell me something good. Tell me how inflation is getting better. Tell me how the food supply chains aren't that we've corrected this. Tell me how COVID is on the decline. And if you can't go from one audience to the next, you're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. You are missing the point. Fox News knows exactly what they're doing. CNN still knows exactly the button to push and buttons to push. And if you want me to go even deeper, follow me at lionelmedia.com. So let me tell you, again, this is another one too. I think I told you about this. But my pillow. My pillow, I would love more than anything else. You have no idea. Mike Lindell has turned into something that, first of all, most people don't know the names of, betting company executives. And My Pillow, the pillow guy, has taken on a heft and a motor. I mean, you can't put this into words. He has become something that traverses sheets and pillowcases and bedspreads and pillows and towels. And it's beyond that. That is genius. In my humble opinion, continue with this. Give people something, in addition to a great quality, which it is, a great product, tell them the backstory. When you have Stephen King tweeting against Elon Musk and using Mike Lindell, this Stephen King against the richest man in the world, supposedly, and you are not the punchline, but the cudgel, you can't get better than this. So Mike Lindell, have I got a plan for you? This is bigger. And if you want to see what I'm talking about, you go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. And if you need a telephone number, which I understand, you call 800-645-4965. That's 800-645-4965. mypillow.com. Now listen to me. And I want to say this again to you. Please, you are wasting your time if you don't notice how beautiful this is, what we're going through right now. These are the most exciting of times, but I beg you, don't look at what they're showing you. Look beneath. Look what it's really about. Look at the message. Look at, just from now on, when you go, Thanksgiving is a laboratory. A laboratory. A laboratory. You'll meet, especially when people come in that you'll never meet. Oh, this is. Do you know Aunt Maxine's brother? Oh, hi. How are you? Oh, interesting. And I love this. Size them up. It's like picking a jury. Size them. Who's this? Who's this? Do you ever see who the alpha leaders are? Who's the boss? Who's not? Do you ever go to a new family? See who's the weird kid? Who's the who? I immediately would love to say, okay, everybody, you've seen this crew for half an hour. Great. Now, write your narrative. Tell me who's who. I love to get it right. The old lady, that's the one. She's the boss. The old lady, they're what? The in-law over here, big problem. Nobody likes her. Now, this guy, I can't figure this one out. This one's got a big mouth. And then, I don't know about you, but you may not know this, but every now and then somebody will say, so, you're You're on that. I used to hear you because it's a New York thing. We used to be on the radio. Yeah. So you're and they're and you can see they're two dogs sniffing each other. You can see it. So they're interesting. You do that thing, yeah. So immediately, okay. And I think, okay, now here's my chance. And I will say something like, yeah, the biggest problem I have is finding people who can just follow the storyline, because it's very complicated, as you well know. Whenever somebody is dumb as rocks, always imply that they're smarter than they are and make them feel stupid. You can actually insult them by providing the greatest compliments ever. Most people don't understand, the whole geopolitical thing of Russia and Ukraine, but I can tell you're not. You understand. Now he's thinking, I understand. What do I understand? I don't understand anything about it. I see it all the time. I know exactly. I wish I could have those. Remember when Google Glasses were around for like a week? I wish I could show you what I see. And say, look at their eyes. You see the look of indecision? That's it. My friends, we are missionaries. We are out trying to spread the word of truth, the holy word of truth. That's it. The holy word of truth. And we have to do it in the most effective ways. And you cannot get anywhere unless you know exactly the way the human species works, okay? Okay. Now, let me tell you this. I'm going to give you right now, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to click on, I'm going to put this up right now. This is Mrs. L's YouTube channel. Click on this right now. It goes right to the subscription. Just do what I say. It is the best. I'm going to say something. I'm going to say this one time, and I'm going to be as polite as I possibly can. There are so many phonies regarding this Balenciaga stuff. They just came along. They just came to the party. They just came along. They know nothing. They know nothing. Mrs. L has been doing this. And it's just a matter of how much can your stomach take. That's it. And this is like for, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but this is like predation for dummies. This is like first grade kindergarten level. You want to go deeper? You follow this. Just click on right there. I'm telling you right now. And it will go right to the subscription board, and you subscribe to her right away. All right, my friends. That's it. Have a great day. Don't worry about this thing about how do you lose those extra pounds after Thanksgiving. Oh, shut up. Shut up. Well, I'm going to be going to the gym. No. We'll talk about that if you want to talk about that. No, stop that. And remember, I don't want to brag, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I am your salvation. I am the answer that you've needed. And I know sometimes I'm a problem to you because you say to yourself internally, he's right. Because I don't read headlines. I'm not a headline ripping reader. I don't do that. You go to those other stations, those other people. I want you to know how to think. I want to teach you how to think. All right? And don't forget one thing. UFOs are real. You got that, Neil deGrasse Tyson? All right. Have a great and glorious day. See you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Happy post-Thanksgiving, postprandial. Don't ever change the meaning that sincerely. We'll see you tomorrow, same bad time. I think I told you that. Same bad time, same bad channel. And until then, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya.